Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back another video today, and today I'm going to be talking about a potential trade that would send superstar, which some say he's not a superstar, which I've seen, TikToks and tweets that Jaylen Brown is not a superstar. In my opinion, Jaylen Brown is a superstar, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. But we're going to be talking about the Rockets potentially trading for Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics, as just hiring Ime Udoka today. There was some sudden belief that if the Rockets did hire Udoka, that now it was already announced way before the Rockets even were it was announced before the Rockets were interested in Udoka that the Rockets were interested in Brown. And now that the Rockets have hired Udoka, it's looking like the Rockets could be looking into bringing in Jaylen Brown. And the question for me is when. Because Jaylen Brown is not a free agent until next season. Jaylen Brown still has one year left on contract. And no, Jaylen Brown, the only way for him to leave the Celtics this offseason is in a trade. And I've been unsure about it. When you can just get him the next season in free agency on a regular contract, he can leave the Boston Celtics for the Rockets. Now, there's going to be a lot of other teams trying to go get Jaylen Brown. But in my opinion, I think that there's going to be better teams having better offers for Jaylen Brown. That's one thing to think about. Like, I'm not talking about contract-wise. The Rockets can probably give him the best money out of anybody due to, how much money they have to spend. But I think there could be some teams that could be willing to give up more for Jaylen Brown. And I've seen, the Rockets are going to have to give up their top pick, whether 1, 2, or 3, whatever pick they get in the lottery, they'll have to give that to the Celtics. Even though how good Jaylen Brown is, there's no way the Rockets are giving that pick up, especially if it's at 1. 2, if it's at 2, I think it's possible. If it's 1, there's no way the Rockets are trading that pick. 2, and they sign James. If they know they're going to get James Harden, I don't know why. I don't know. And if it's a guarantee, Jaylen Brown is signing an extension with the Houston Rockets as soon as he lands, if it's the second overall pick. And then you have Jaylen Brown, Jalen Green, and James Harden on the offense. Then that's when I would first overall pick, hell no, that's never going to Boston. Second overall pick, only way I'd trade it to the Celtics is if it's for sure Jaylen Brown is signing a 5-year extension as soon as he lands to the Houston Rockets, and James Harden is coming with him. Not in a trade, obviously, but James Harden is coming in free agency as well, which would be a lot of money to spend to pay James Harden and Jaylen Brown. The Rockets have the cap space to do it, but that's the only way I think the Rockets should or would give up the top 2 pick in the draft or whatever they get. 1, it's out of question. The Rockets are not trading that pick. They're getting Wembanyama. It's not up for discussion. But I think if they only have to give up, let's say number 2 overall pick and Jayshawn Tate, KPJ, maybe Ty Washington, and at maybe 2 seconds, then Jaylen Brown is re-signing. I might do that as a Rockets fan. And I know it might sound crazy. Now, if it's the first overall pick, I'm not doing that at all. There's no way the Rockets would trade that first overall pick. So take that out of question. But what I will say is that I do have a trade proposal that does not involve, the first pick or the Rockets' first round pick for this season. It's just 3 players coming to the Houston Rockets. 3 players going to the Boston Celtics for Jaylen Brown, with also 5 picks and 2 pick swaps going to 5 picks and 1 pick swap going to the Boston Celtics, and another player alongside Jaylen Brown going to the Rockets. Let's go over it. So here's the trade would be, and to be honest, I think the Rockets are one of the best teams at, offering picks wise. I don't think there's going to be, which I don't think this will happen, the Thunder are interested. That's the only team I think could beat the Rockets out with picks, which the Thunder realistically are not going to be interested unless they're offering up Giddey and a crap ton of picks. I don't see the Thunder being interested in a trade for Jaylen Brown in that case. So Yeah, I think the Rockets are the best team to offer picks wise. Players, I don't know about that. It just depends what they're looking for. Here's the trade I have on the table to send Jaylen Brown to Houston. Kevin Porter Jr., which is the big contract on the table for the Rockets going away to the Boston Celtics, which is $15.8 million. Jayshawn Tate, which is $6.8 million. Is it? No, $6.5 million. And this is surprisingly that this is the least. Well, he hasn't got paid yet. And for the Rockets, this is a really tough player to give up. And if he does really good in the future, it's gonna really haunt them. But Alperen Sengun would have to be give up in this trade. And I'm not saying I agree with this, but the Rockets might have a better chance of winning with Jaylen Brown. And it sucks. I don't want the Rockets to get rid of Alperen Sengun. That's why a part of me is saying, okay, instead of getting rid of Alp or a bunch of picks, why not just wait for a year and take a chance if, possibly someone else gets him, because there's going to be a crap ton of teams interested in Jaylen Brown, but it'd be better than losing out on these players and these picks. So I have no idea what the Rockets will do. And then the picks, a 2023 first-round pick from the Clippers, that is pick number 20 in this year's draft. A 2024 round one, that's Brooklyn's. The Rockets 2025 first-round pick. Brooklyn's 26. And Golden State Warriors 2024 round two via Golden State. So Golden State's second-round pick in 2024. I don't know what pick swap that would be included in there. And then the Rockets received Jaylen Brown and also sharpshooter Sam Hauser, which I know if any Boston Celtics fan is watching this video, they're going to say it's unfair. It could be unfair, and the Rockets might have to add in a couple extra picks in that trade. Maybe a couple other pick swaps. I don't know. But that's the trade I kind of came up with. It probably isn't good enough for the Celtics. And the Celtics can probably get better offers. But that's just the deal that I think the Rockets can best offer for Jaylen Brown. That's just my opinion. Now, if a Jaylen Brown trade happens to the Rockets, I don't think it happens. Well, I don't know when NBA trades can start. But if it happens, it's definitely not happening until after the draft. I can guarantee that. But we'll see what happens. I think it should be really interesting to see what happens with Jaylen Brown. If not, over the next, summer with what happens with Jaylen Brown, definitely the next summer after that when he becomes a free agent. Jaylen Brown might not be traded this summer, but he's a free agent the next year, and the Rockets will definitely be interested if they don't try to trade for him now. But what I'm trying to say here is that Boston is definitely going to listen to offers for Brown, because they, think about what has happened with them before in the past with Kyrie Irving. They thought Kyrie was returning, and he didn't, and they didn't get anything back for him. Now, Jaylen Brown, if they feel like he's going to go elsewhere, and I think with Kyrie, they kind of felt like he was going to resign because Kyrie said, I'm resigning. Jaylen Brown has not said that. And I personally think if the Celtics feel a little like, okay, well, it looks like maybe he might not be coming back. It looks like he might be going to some place like Houston or Chicago or the Clippers, then we're going to move him. We're going to get something for him. We're going to get picks and some decent players for him, and some decent young players that have a lot of potential. And that's what Sengun has. And as much as Haiti gets, KPJ has some nice potential as well. I think it's actually, instead of Jayshawn Tate, I think the Rockets could give Tariq Eason instead of Jayshawn Tate. So maybe Eason, KPJ, Sengun, and 3 or 4 first-round picks and a second, and maybe a pick swap. That's just what I'm throwing out there. And the reason why the Rockets have to give up a lot of first-round picks is because the Celtics can easily get way better players. I'm sure, and I'm not too sure on this, but the Bulls could be willing to offer Zach LaVine for Jaylen Brown. So, but at the same time, the Celtics would not be getting as much as picks for Zach LaVine as, I don't know. it might, Zach LaVine for Jaylen Brown might just be a straight up swap. I don't know that for sure, but what I do know is the Celtics wouldn't get a lot of picks for Jaylen Brown going to Chicago as they would as Houston. They can take leverage of the Rockets draft picks, and that's just some of my ideas so far. But should the Rockets trade for Jaylen Brown? As much as I'd love it, I say no, because just the silly fact that he's going to be a free agent soon and how much money you have to spend, the amount of money you have to spend in the next couple seasons with cap space, if he's that interested in you, he'll sign. The Rockets get to keep Sengun. You either have to give up Sengun or Jabari, and I personally don't think, it's would be great to give up them when they're this young and they're just trying to starting to become good basketball players. So I mean, Jabari, he's going to his second year next season, and Sengun's going into his third. So they're still very young, but I think a couple years, I think they'll be really solid basketball players, both of them. So give up one of them, then you could lose on a really decent talent. So we'll see what happens. I think there's definitely a possibility the Rockets trade for Jaylen Brown, but I personally think there's a better chance the Rockets wait till free agency to go after him in 2024. I think there is a better chance the Rockets do that. And I think that would be the better idea for the organization. You guys have any thoughts on the video and the trade idea? That's for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Rockets.